Hi everyone, we're back with the latest compilation of ASEAN News. Still with me, Vanessa. Two Myanmar's Reuters journalists compete to get Nobel Peace Prize.
Is it okay if I'm talking about that?
Two Reuters journalists, Wan Lone and Kiao So-woo, who had been sentenced to 7 years in jail on convictions under the Colonial Era Official Secrets Act in September 2018 and later released in May 2019, are among the possible contenders for this year's Nobel Peace Prize. They were arrested in 2017 while working on an investigation into the killing of 10 Rohingya Muslim men and boys by security forces and Buddhist civilians in western Myanmar's Rakhine state. The conviction of Wan Lone and Kiao So-woo in late 2018 sparked an outcry from diplomats and press freedom advocates who says the jailing of two young reporters raised questions about Myanmar's progress toward democracy. During more than 500 days behind bars, their reporting on a military crackdown in Rakhine state was recognized with international awards, and they were named by Time magazine as its Person of the Year alongside other journalists in 2018. The journalists and their colleagues accepted their Pulitzer Prize in the international reporting category in 2019.
Thailand's police captured 5 people in an illegal cannabis lab.
Thailand police raids an illegal cannabis lab in the Chiang Mai province and arrest 5 people and accuses of producing and exporting the illegal substance to Japan. Police confiscate dried marijuana products, hemp seeds, over 100 cannabis plants, and machines used to extract cannabis oil and process raw cannabis. According to the Thai PBS media, the sting was on the back of a tip-off by the Japanese consulate in Chiang Mai, which reported the selling of illegal cannabis and other illegal substances to clients living in both Japan and Thailand on social media. According to the broadcaster, police also named a 41-year-old Japanese man, Katsuhisa Komiya, who has been accused of overseeing the entire operation. He hired 4 Thai workers to carry out the production, such as from planting and nurturing to the extraction of the cannabis oil into pills. All 5 suspects are being held in the custody for further questioning amid an investigation.
Chinese and Singaporeans celebrate 30th anniversary of diplomatic ties.
Chinese President Xi Jinping says China always worked with Singapore in various fields with high-quality implementation of Belt and Road Initiative as the main focus. Xi makes an exchange of congratulatory messages with Singaporean President Halimah Yacob to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. He adds, China stands ready to join efforts with Singapore to uphold multilateralism and free trade, push for greater progress of bilateral relations, and contribute to regional and world stability and prosperity. Singapore stands ready to work with China to consolidate the multilateral framework that binds the world and bring bilateral relations to a higher level.
South Korean police set up bus walls to prevent demonstrations on coronavirus pandemic.
South Korean police mobilizes hundreds of buses to head off any political rallies in the capital, authorities determined to prevent another cluster of novel coronavirus cases emerging from a protest. Police parks buses along main avenues and around a central Seoul square to seal them off. They also set up some 90 checkpoints to prevent vehicles bringing protesters, while the subway did not stop at several stations at protest venues. The government banned more than 100 demonstrations planned for National Foundation Day, warning of strict punishment for any illegal protest. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency reported 75 new infections and taking the national totally to 24,027 cases with 420 deaths.
Thailand student demand education minister to resign and educational reform.
Thailand's self-styled bad student campaigners demand the resignation of Education Minister Natapol Thipsuang. The group, part of a broader protest movement that has gained momentum in Thailand since July to demand governance system reform.
เป็น3ข้อเรียกร้องเช่นเดิมซึ่ง3ข้อเรียกร้องก็คือการ
The three demands that we were asking for today are the same that we asked for since last month, which are educational reforms, an end to harassment, and schools rules that are outdated. Today, we are asking for the education minister to resign because he can't meet our demands. It's been over a month since we came out in protest, but nothing has been fixed and the harassment has become even worse.
อะไรได้รับการแก้ไขและซ้ำร้ายมันยังเพิ่มมากขึ้นด้วยซ้ำ
In the same place, a 17-year-old student who participated in a protest asked for education minister to resign from his office because he was not doing well.
เห็นด้วยครับเห็นด้วยอย่างยิ่งเพราะว่ามันตามหลัก
I fully support the protest because we should have freedom of speech and no one should get beaten up or have their rights diminished. I want the education minister to resign because he is not good at his job and he has been in the position for a while but nothing has changed.
ใช้ระยะเวลามาสักพักหนึ่งแล้วก็ไม่ได้มีการเปลี่ยนแปลงที่ดีขึ้นขนาดนั้นนะครับ
In response to the demand from students, Permanent Secretary of Office of the Basic Education Commission says the ministry will take action to protect students and will solve this problem.
ก็ยังมีบางคนบางหมู่บางเหล่าที่
There are over 400,000 teachers all over the country, so some might violate the rules, but we have measures to provide protection and to solve the problem.
เชิงป้องกันเชิงเผชิญปัญหาและก็แก้ปัญหา
Earlier, the group visits schools throughout the capital. During visits, they demand educational reforms, including an end to harassment and to schools rules. Concerns over the harsh treatment from the teacher to pupils becomes a subject discussed to public after the evidence of camera footage of teachers hitting young children. Besides the protest against Education Minister, Thailand students also plan a major demonstration on October 14 to demand democratic reforms and to stop the monarchy in policy.
China and Vietnam work together to fight coronavirus pandemic.
In a phone conversation with Nguyen Phu Trong, president of Vietnam, Chinese president says China and Vietnam illustrated their profound, comradely and brotherly friendship with concrete actions in the joint fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. He adds, to battle against the coronavirus disease, two countries must support each other in tackling the current difficulties, make major achievements in COVID-19 control and prevention. China attaches importance to exploring cooperation with Vietnam in vaccine production and other fields. Meanwhile, the two countries should continue to safeguard multilateralism as well as international fairness and justice, resolve disputes and differences through friendly consultations, maintain the sound momentum of global and regional peace and development. Meanwhile, in the same moment, Trong conveys warm congratulations on the 71st anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China, and spoke highly of the remarkable achievements China has made in combating the COVID-19 pandemic and advancing economic. He adds that the international situation is undergoing rapid and complex changes, and Vietnam is going all out to prepare for the 13th National Congress of the CPV, which is scheduled for early next year.
Chinese President hopes President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania speedy recovery from coronavirus infection.
In a phone conversation, Chinese President Xi Jinping and his wife, Peng Liyuan, wishes United States President Donald Trump and his wife, First Lady Melania Trump, a speedy recovery from COVID-19. The United States President Donald Trump announced on Friday morning, on 2nd of October, that he and his wife, or First Lady Melania, have tested positive for coronavirus shortly after his close aide and White House Counselor, Hope Hicks, tested positive for coronavirus. Trump, who has developed mild symptoms, is currently staying at a military hospital. The United States remains the world's worst hit nation with the most cases and deaths. So far, United States reports 7.4 million of COVID-19 cases and with more than 200,000 deaths.
Indonesian airplane used masks to warn people about coronavirus outbreak.
Garuda Indonesia, the country's flag carrier, released a video on social media of an Airbus plane wearing a blue face mask on its nose to encourage people to wear their own masks amid the coronavirus pandemic. The airline is also hoping to spread the word by running a contest during the month, encouraging Indonesians to submit their own plane mask designs to win business class plane tickets. According to the Health Ministry, Indonesia reports 4,370 new coronavirus infections, bringing the country's total number of cases to 295,499 with 10,972 deaths.
Myanmar's rickshaws support political parties in coming election amid coronavirus disease.
Myanmar rickshaws follow the campaign trail, fill the void left by banned pedicab drivers, and supporters of parties in the city are decorating their rickshaws with materials representing the political party of their choice in hopes to promoting their preferable candidate. They are taking these actions to support political parties due to a government ban on campaigning for the country's November 8 election amid a rising number of coronavirus infections. The candidates are not being able to hold any rallies and election campaigns at all during the COVID-19 restrictions. Now, all of us, the rickshaw drivers, are decorating our rickshaws with materials from the political party which we want to support. It's like we are doing the election campaign on their behalf. I hope our activities will be somewhat effective for the candidates. Other rickshaw drivers and other party supporters says he believes the new coming candidate will be work together to fight against COVID-19 and is using his vehicle to campaign for their votes. I support the Union Solidarity and Development Party. I truly trust the USDP party will cooperate with us to fight against COVID-19 and overcome this difficult situation. From the party materials showcased on my rickshaw, I hope the people will support and vote for this party. Meanwhile, the nurse at school quarantine center says they're working hard to prevent the coronavirus pandemic disease in the country.
I think the individual awareness of the virus precaution is not enough. Even though we are trying hard to warn people, we are aware of the rising death toll. That is higher than that of previous months because the infection rate has escalated rapidly. As we have seen from when we trace suspected cases through the community. The reason why the numbers have gotten higher is because people are not scared enough of the virus infection.
The parliamentary term is constitutionally bound to end on January 31st, and if no election is held before, then it will be without a legislature, raising the possibility of constitutional crisis. Myanmar's electoral agency says it will increase the number of polling stations to prevent overcrowding, but it has given few other details about measures it is taking. So far, Myanmar registered 412 coronavirus cases and with 41 deaths.
Philippine pets get prize blessings on World Animal Day.
The Philippines pet owners are taking their pets for blessing via a drive-through ceremony in a celebration of World Animal Day and the Feast of Saint Francis of Assisi amid the coronavirus pandemic.
It's very important for us then to have our pet blessed because we feel like our pet talaga is really part of our family. And of course, we really want the best for his health too. And so yun, that's why we decided to join the pet blessing for today.
A Catholic priest blesses various breeds of cats, dogs and birds with holy water as pet owners in Manila line up inside their cars. Organizers says they conduct a drive-through this year to ensure social distancing during the pandemic.
But this time around, as mentioned, we have to adapt to the new normal. And the pandemic should never stop us from paying tribute to the furry animals that we have.
In World Animal Day, Catholics celebrate the Feast of Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals.
Well, that's all for today. Have a nice weekend with your loved ones. See you soon.